What's up guys, my name is Courtney Budzyn and this is What's for Din. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a raspberry cream cheese Danish. Now my husband likes to compare this to a toaster strudel, but like 1,000 times better. This is really simple to make, but it's also so beautiful because we are doing a braided Danish instead of a regular one. By no means this is not the authentic recipe for a Danish, but it is my way of doing it very simply and very delicious. So without further ado, let's go over the ingredients. You're going to need some softened cream cheese, a little bit of lemon juice, some sugar, vanilla extract, 1 egg yolk, and you're also going to need some frozen raspberries, or fresh is fine, some sugar, cornstarch, a little bit of water, and of course some puff pastry. Now you can make your own puff pastry. It's a really long process of folding and refrigerating and folding and refrigerating. It takes all day. So there's some things that it's just better off to just buy it from the store. So that's why I'm doing that today. You're also going to need a few more ingredients for the icing we're going to put on top. But first what we're going to do is start with our raspberry preserves. Now you can use my homemade raspberry jam recipe that I'll link in the description box below. This is just a really quick and easy way to do it if you want to put this on desserts or anything like that. It's just faster. So we're going to go over to the stove and we'll get started. So this is really simple. I just have a heavy bottom saucepan here. I add all the ingredients, my water, sugar, and cornstarch. I have my burner set to medium high. Give this a good stir. And you want to simmer this for about 5 to 10 minutes until everything's nice and broken down and thickened up. And once that happens, you can set it aside and continue with the rest of the recipe. So I will show you what this looks like when it's there. So this is what the consistency looks like. As you can see, it's pretty thick and it will continue to get thicker as it cools. Like I said, you can just use a regular raspberry jam that you buy from the store, or you can even use my recipe that I will link below in the description. So now we're going to work on our cream cheese filling. So what we're going to do first, in a standing mixer, you can use a hand mixer if you want. I'm going to add my softened cream cheese. Really important, it's nice and soft because it's easier to fluff it up that way. And we're going to beat this until it's nice and fluffy. So now we're going to add our sugar in and we're going to beat that together. So another 2 minutes should suffice. So now that the sugar's incorporated, we're going to go ahead and add all the rest. So I have my vanilla, smidge of lemon juice, not too much, and my egg yolk. And let that beat for another 2 minutes until it's fully incorporated. All right, that's nice and fluffy. Everything's good and incorporated, so now we're gonna start assembling it. So as you can see, I have my puff pastry here on a lightly floured surface, and all I like to do is take my rolling pin. I'm not using any pressure at all, I'm just very lightly guiding it over. I'm just gonna try to make this a little bit more of a square, just so that it's easier to make it even. I'm really not going gung-ho with it. So all it took was about 5 rolls and I got it to the perfect square that we were looking for. So now you're going to want to add your cream cheese mixture to the center and then just spread it out almost to the end. Leave about 1/2 inch or so. Now we add our raspberry preserves. I kind of just smear it. You can use as much or as little as you want. Okay, so now comes the more trickier part, but once you watch, you'll get the hang of it. So the first thing I do is I cut a little end piece so I have something to fold forward, because you want this to be protected, and then I pinch the sides because you don't want all the filling to just flow out. That wouldn't be no fun. So once you have that, you can go ahead and make diagonal little slits, and you keep just going down the line. You don't want to cut too close to the filling so it doesn't ooze out, but you want to make sure that you keep the same amount of flaps on this side as you have on the other side. I'm gonna make sure I cut a little flap for this side, and then I can cut that piece out. So all my slits are done, and you might have less, you may have more. There's no perfect number. It all depends on how big or wide it is. So the first thing I'm gonna do before I start folding them over is do this end piece and pinch that. And I'm gonna start from the bottom. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. And fold over. And just keep doing that. And then I like to pinch these ends there. So now once it's all assembled, I go ahead and dust off the excess flour because you don't need all that. I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of egg wash, which is just 1 egg beaten with a little bit of water. Just brush that on there. And egg wash is the equivalent to tanning oil for your pastries. Now this is optional, but I like a little bit of a crust on it. So I like to sprinkle some sugar on the top, just a little bit. So that is all there is to it. Now we're going to throw it in a 375-degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until they're nicely golden brown. That's not a word. Or until they're nice and golden brown on top, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. I'm so excited. These are delicious. I'm telling you, delicious. You'll notice that when you bring those beautiful babies out of the oven, they're super puffy, but don't worry, they're going to deflate a lot while you let them cool. You want to let them cool for about 10 to 15 minutes so they're not piping hot. And in the meantime, you can work on making your icing. All you need is some powdered sugar, some vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, and a little bit of heavy cream or whole milk, or whatever milk you want to use is fine. You want to keep adding the milk and whisking away until you get the desired consistency you're looking for. You don't want it to be too runny, otherwise it'll just run off the pastry. You want it to stick to the pastry. So just add a little bit of milk at a time and whisk until you get what you're looking for. Then you can drizzle it right over your pastry. If you're not going to eat these immediately, make sure that you refrigerate them in the meantime, but other than that, you are ready to serve. They're out of the oven, they're cooled, they're iced, and they're calling my name. So I'm not waiting no longer. Whew! Holy cow. Skip the fork. I'm going in. So if you guys want to recreate this recipe, just look below in the description. I'll have all the measurements as well as the written instructions. And if you did like this video, don't forget to smack that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I have many more recipes to come. And if you are subscribed but you're not seeing my videos pop up in your feed, don't forget to hit that little bell button next to the subscription button so that you're notified every single time I upload a video. So as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.